36.05B of the Village Code to increase the number of Class E liquor licenses. I'll move to approve a resolution rejecting all proposals received in response to the village's request for proposals for the redevelopment of the village-owned property located at 110 Railroad Street. And I will move to approve an ordinance amending section 37.01 of the code regarding fees related to recording liens on properties.
And I'll just note for the record that Trustee Mahoney is seated at 6:01 PM.
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Any discussion? I gotta ask, are we needing to increase the number of licenses? Are we just transferring it?
Well, do we though, because we had the number with their original license, didn't we?
So by default, when a business is no longer in, it automatically goes out. So to bring it back in, you put it up. If you look at the last class 5 we did, I believe it was, I can't remember, it was a few months ago, we moved it from 4 to 5. So then there was a quick drop with this Tequila Val's change in ownership, and now we're back to 4 to 5.
Oh.
It's technicality at this point, sure.
Is the applicant here?
It's right there. Kyle.
Okay. Do we need to remove it if I have a question for Kyle?
No, we're in, well,
You're in discussion.
You gotta-
We're in discussion,
You're in
so we can
discussion.
take a question. Cool. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just one question. Are you now, would you now be 100% the owner of Tequila Val's?
Correct.
And is Tom Rozier in any way whatsoever still have part ownership? Are you leasing or anything like that?
With the new ownership now.
Okay, thank
but
you.
he owns the building still, right?
Correct.
Oh, he still owns the building, so
Yeah.
you are leasing the building from
Correct.
him? Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, I'll take roll call.
Okay. Trustee Kunze?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to other agenda items, I would like to remove 6A. That's no longer needed for discussion.
Do you need a motion to remove or no?
No, the applicant is withdrawn, is my understanding, so
Yeah.
there's no need for anyone to make a motion.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
We can just go to the next item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discussion and direction regarding the documentary film proposal. I believe that's you, Trustee Kunze?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is an idea that actually my wife and I came up with. The idea was, you know, we have this depot, and would it be cool if in the depot there was a video playing of interviews with local residents talking about the history of East Dundee from their perspective. And, you know, I kind of didn't know how realistic that was as an actual piece, so I talked to, gosh, what's his name? Dave Hudson, sorry. And he, you know, really very quickly latched on and thought it was a great idea, so he put forth a proposal. We kind of talked about it and very much we're on the same page. And I mean, that's the whole idea, is that it's going to be a document that is historical in nature, but again, from the perspective of residents, longtime residents, former residents of East Dundee, talking about their memories and perspective of the village. And if you read the proposal, he's got it he's taken it further than what that we had talked about at that meeting, or I thought of, and put a very detailed outline of how it can be laid out, which I appreciate that he's, you know, sort of taken ownership of it and has a vision, I guess, of what it can be. And I got, that's about all I got.
I'm sorry, I read that your proposal, or the proposal that they put together.
Yeah.
What is like the total deliverable that he's expecting? Is this like a 10-minute documentary kind of thing?
No,
And does he anticipate,
No,
what the
he-
whole
he-
package would be
the way
in
that
time?
the way that he keeps stating it is a festival ready, full length feature film documentary.
So he's talking about something more than a short, like a 60-minute,
Absolutely.
115
Yeah,
minute,
and when
something
we
like that.
talked in person, we also talked about how once we do this, it's very possible that more people are going to come forth and be like, why wasn't I involved in this? You know?
Right.
And so it could
Yeah.
grow maybe in the future. I think the idea is to make it somewhat modular almost. That
Got it.
even though it's going to be one full documentary, there would be the ability, I guess, in the future to add to it if we found that we wanted to.
Anybody?
So this would be kind of marketing for the town to draw people into the town with all this character, also historical in focus to document and capture a little bit of both.
Absolutely. In my mind, it's always been more of the historical documenting of perspectives that are not going to be here forever. Quite frankly, that as generations switch over, we're going to lose perspective of people that have been here a long time, and this is just a way to sort of capture that and keep it locked in, forever, really.
Yeah, I think that's what will make it successful, is capturing those stories, because as time goes on, you might have other people with other stories that you want to document and then have those, but the Arts Council was looking at ways to try to, in smaller ways, document like some of Dolores's stories. She'd bring in artwork and talk through it, and had somebody record audio of her telling stories of just the artwork she collected. And our thought was like, how does that scale to something bigger to like capture more of these stories from
Right.
just various residents? So, and it does seem like for a full length film that's a very good price. Like I would expect it to be a lot more when I saw it was full length.
Yeah.
So I think the more we lean into the historical aspect, not like people acting out and making it more of
Yeah,
like a cheesy marketing
recreations.
video, it's
Yeah.
more like documentary capturing stories, and in more of a serious tone would make it more successful.
Yeah.
Does he have any samples of stuff that he's done in the past?
Well, if you go to his website, if you type in Dave Hudson into your Google box,
Yeah, I
he's
just
got a lot of videos on there that he's produced that you could see, a lot of commercials.
Yeah, there's a lot of marketing,
D. Hudson Productions.
which is hard to do because of acting, but I feel like capturing people's stories, these people don't need to be actors. So
Yeah, and what we talked about, well, there's two ways you could do it. You could either have a camera view of an interviewer and an interviewee, but we both kind of gravitated more towards off-camera prompts and then just letting people talk, not capturing the question,
yeah.
just sort of like prompting so that people, it just seems like people are sharing a story, but being guided off camera to make it more, cohesive and maybe more detailed, if we could pull more details out of people.
Yeah, I like that approach. And who would you see as like it seems like we'd need somebody to be a point contact, either a person who represents others, but if you have like the whole board all giving feedback, it would kind of ruin the project, I think. But just from the Arts Council's perspective, like we try to, when we have a mural painting, we say we're not even giving you direction on content, but if something's inappropriate, we'll kind of have one person be the point person. But yeah, I think that would be helpful to him, to have one person who helps manage the back and forth, whoever that is, if it's Caleb or someone on the Arts Council or someone on staff or
Yeah.
Scott. But
Further kind of crafting and guiding, you know, this is a proposal, then you kind of get into your storyboard, your production, timeline, who are the folks,
Yeah.
and more as a partner and a guide in that, and maybe
Yeah.
that one person checks in with the board every once or twice. I think, doing a lot of videos for my job, representing different brands that we have, you know, having, you know, a small group that might like look at a final cut or final edits might be something that would be beneficial for all of us
Yeah.
as a village.
Some way to not micromanage with a lot
Right.
of people, like
Well,
any
you know,
creative project.
Caleb actually, Caleb has a pretty good
Yeah,
relationship
he
with
does.
Dave already,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that they
Yeah,
can,
that'd
they
probably
can
be
talk.
good.
I'm going to, if we get this, you know, green lit, I'm going to reach out to people, looking for people that want to talk about East Dundee, you know, and, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
having
no, I think
volunteers
it's
helping
something
is gonna
that
be
we
helpful.
all could do and all recommend, you know, different
Yeah.
people. Like I could recommend the son of the person that opened the first veterinary here in town,
Yeah.
you know, and built his
Yeah.
house here and grew up here as a kid and the whole
Yeah.
you know, that kind of, I
Right.
think we all have contacts that could be beneficial to the story,
Yeah.
and whether or not it makes final cut or not is a whole other matter, but.
Yeah.
You guys got anything? Trustees Guma and Ackland?
No, I like it. I thought the idea was cool. And hearing the depot idea of putting it in there, I think it's pretty neat, because you go in there to kind of break it up as you're looking around the depot. So, and I do believe, sorry guys, thought all these were off. I do
Thanks for
believe
reminding.
that it does kind of hold the history forever then.
Yeah.
So once it's gone, it's gone. So
Exactly.
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the petty one here about, return on investment. I mean, the grand scheme of things, what is it, $23,000? Can we do more with it than just show it there? at
Oh,
the depot?
absolutely. I
Can we
mean,
pass it on to some of our realtors in town?
Oh,
Why it
absolutely.
would be a great
He-
place to move
so one
into?
thing that he did say, Dave said, is he's going to produce this documentary, but he's also going to deliver individual video files that we can use in marketing or whatever as part of that. It's also going to include snippets, if you will, that can be used by
Yeah,
the
that'd be
village.
awesome.
Like
Yeah.
if there's a 2-minute edit that could be
Exactly.
used for realtors, to your point,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
businesses
Or
that
our
would want to
website.
come into town.
You know, or, you know,
Do we have
Facebook.
access to Comcast on their local channel?
It's a good question. I would see how we would put local ads.
Because I know other towns do
Right.
that for free, they're able to put stuff on.
That'd be cool.
I mean, if a few people see it, at least we're showing it to a lot of other people. And maybe when we get our stage, we can have a movie night and let it play for everybody.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, and we have a YouTube channel. I'm sure it would live there. It sounds like he's giving us rights in the file. He's not charging us licensing fees or anything. So
Right.
that's
No,
kind of
and
what
you know,
want.
that's one thing that I guess I should say is that when we were talking, he was, you know, he's from this area, and he was like, this is gonna be personal for him. You know, this is gonna be something that he feels passionate about and, you know, wants to see through because it's his area, his town too. You know, he doesn't live in East Dundee actually, but he's,
But he plays music down at the
yeah,
depot.
exactly. He's
you
very
know,
involved
on
in this
market
community,
days.
this village, and, you know, he's lived here, I think, most of his life, so
He's
I think
involved.
he's, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be I don't think he's doing this to make
Yes,
money. I think
it's
he's
a lot
doing
of
this
work.
because he wants to,
And it's broken up in 2 different years also, the payments.
Mhm.
correct.
So that'll help with Brandis.
For what it's worth, he did a recruiting video for us.
Oh, we did.
That really paid dividends. It was very professionally done.
Good.
And he was great about it.
Could you share a link with that,
You bet.
to that with us?
Awesome.
Sure.
That'd be great.
All right. So I think you have enough to go on?
Yeah.
All right, how about C?
I'll move to approve a resolution designating additional 2026 village-sponsored special events as designated outdoor refreshment area, DORA special event.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Andy's a second. How's it going with the door? I think it's going great.
We received feedback at the last meeting, chime in, Ryan, from Catherine. There is some confusion, and there were some complaints from some of the people that participated. I think there were 3 people that participated in one event, and then 4 people that participated in the other events that weren't canceled. The complaints were centered around more the people that were participating, having people walk in with drinks from outside, so the area. And DORA is not really a well
Understood
understood.
acronym.
Yes. And so that was the biggest issue. I would really love to hear from Chief on whether or not there were any reports or issues with neighbors or with observations from the police that were on duty at the time.
We we're happy to report rather that we didn't get any issues
Great.
reported to us.
Great.
Just kind of what you mentioned, a couple of people, bars that were participating that didn't have the proper paperwork in at the time, but that's been addressed is what I understand.
Okay. Ryan, was there anything else that you wanted to add based on what Catherine had
I wasn't at that meeting.
Oh, that's right. Anybody else hear anything from any of the
Well, I guess I have
businesses or?
questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's your floor.
Well, it's our. I saw in the packet that Black and Gray was going to participate. I'm just wondering how that logistically works when they're across the street, outside of the fenced-in area. If they're going to have people bring beer out, are they able to walk across the street? And I guess that second part of the question is, is this giving an advantage to people that are bordering the fenced-in area over places that aren't?
Yes, it does give them an advantage.
But it's also taking away their parking too.
And do I understand that correctly about Black and Gray participating?
I'll have to follow up on that. I'm not sure how their participation works exactly in the DORA.
Yeah. Because if we can find a way for them to participate, that's great. Then it kind of like levels the playing field a little bit more. I just don't know how logistically that works.
Right.
Black and Gray had, a
Booth.
tent
Yes.
on grounds.
Right.
Yeah.
So that brings me to another point that Franco and I were talking about. In the future, 2027, when we do get that stage out there, and then we can have all of our tents on the grassy area, are we still gonna keep this open to where people just walk across the parking lot so we can have more parking in the parking lot, or are we still shutting it off? Because my thought is, if we open it up and have cars parking, it's less work also on our PW having to block off the roads and stuff. Because we have to block it off early, which is causing businesses really to not get much business during the day because everything's shut down there. So that's something to think about. We got time to think about it. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of planting that seed right now.
Phil, what time do you shut down the streets for Wind Down Wednesday and Thursday and Motor Mondays?
Wind down's a little bit later because we set the stage up, so maybe 3-ish, I think.
Mhm.
I wanna say Thursdays are closer to 2 because of the stage.
But River isn't closed down necessarily until closer to
Not
5 or,
Not anymore because we
yeah.
moved the stage over to
Right.
July, that's correct.
right. So it's really just, what is that, Railroad?
Railroad.
Yeah, that is shut down, which isn't really, like, I would be more concerned about River being a main thoroughfare, but, It's something we can discuss at our meeting on Wednesday. This coming
So going
Wednesday.
back to trustee Coonsey's, if we open it up, which we could, with the DC Cobb's and the cafe there and Black and Gray, how do we facilitate that?
I would go back to Chief and what your concerns are about going from an enclosed area like we have right now to more of an open, multi-street potential access and, you know, monitoring all of that that's inside and outside of those gates.
My concern is gonna be public safety and
Mhm.
crossing the street, right, like that.
Mhm.
There's probably not a good way around that
Mhm.
if we're gonna allow it. That's my biggest concern.
So you would potentially require extra staffing, because right now everybody's inside the gates.
Right.
And we would probably want to have somebody more permanently, you know, stationed right around Barrington to.
In the crosswalk area there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or the other option is shutting down Barrington Road, which I don't think we wanna do, cause that's a main road going through.
Can we even do that? Is it a truck route?
It's a truck route, and we don't like to do it on a regular basis like
Right.
that, because then you're affecting a lot more
Right.
people getting to their homes, to the river, across the river, back over to 20, you know, to the east side.
I think the big picture is we used to have 3 at a time or 4 at a time that people could set up and sell beer or wine or whatever, but now, like, I think it'll evolve into all of those neighboring businesses that don't need to set up anymore are always available, and all those slots can now always be the people who aren't in the zone. So they could go from having 3 sessions or whatever it is a season to more. So maybe that's how it's a win for them.
Well, we opened it up so that there used to be only 3 or 4 vendors. Now it's as many vendors as want to participate. And, you know, just from the vendors that we have spoken to, that I've spoken to, and Ryan, jump in if, or anybody else, if you've spoken to more people, they don't find an issue with having more than the 3 people there. They think it's
Right.
actually better.
Right.
There's
brings
more
in
people coming in, they're all getting more business.
Yeah.
And so it really becomes a choice of, do you staff, you know, over at DC Cobb's, the same number of people? Like, they're pulling away, I believe DC Cobb's, I know for sure Kate. I can speak for Kate and I can speak for Black and Gray. They pull away and they have one person covering, you know, at their storefronts, and then the rest of the staffing is at the event.
Yeah.
So then, potentially what would happen is, not knowing, you know, flipping a coin, if they were to go all there, or to do both, they would have to potentially increase all of their staffing, to both cover, you know, 2 to 3 people at the brick and mortar, and then the same thing for the tents.
Do those
So-
businesses even want this? We asked them.
I don't think so, no, we should, we can. Easy peasy, let's not assume.
Before we talk too much about it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they may not even be interested.
Yeah, I can reach out.
Well, trustee Coonsey brought it up that, he thought he saw Black and Gray wanting to be part of the Dora.
Was that in this memo?
It was in this memo.
I don't remember reading it, but it doesn't mean it's not in there. I've been on vacation.
Okay, any other discussion though? We still have
For the naming, I agree we shouldn't probably call it DORA. Nobody knows what that acronym is, but is the events committee coming up with a name? I think you guys could probably pick like, oh, that's the sip and stroll zone, or something short and sweet that's
Yeah.
descriptive.
I think you just named it.
Sip and stroll. Throw that in.
So there's a town in Ohio, Dublin, Ohio, if you look them up, they have a DORA, actually, same phrase. And they do not fence it in. Their DORA is actually every day. And it's a bigger city than East Dundee. But they have restaurants, same thing, you gotta get the specific cup and wristband or whatever, but you can go in and out of restaurants, and there's a zone that you have to stay in.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of towns. Usually, the ones I've seen aren't even fenced off. It's just, these are the blocks. There's street signs when you get to them as to, don't cross this one. This is the limit. So, like, Brevard was that way, and Raleigh was that. But a bunch of towns I've seen that model.
So I think the question really is at hand right now, though, is whether or not we want to expand it to the remaining, as it is, to the remaining events for the season that are scheduled.
Right, that's what this.
Then we
vote is.
can,
Adjust.
then we can adjust. Before we open it up anymore, or maybe we pick one date or one event besides Oktoberfest, because that's already, it's more expanded to include that area and shut down. If we want to pick another date to test, a larger area, and how that would impact Public Works with either setting up different fences, if there's a need to set up different fences, and staffing for police this season, so we can test it, so we know, or if we want to start another test in a more expanded area for 27. Is my
I think we
thought.
should try one this year.
Okay.
I like your idea.
Anybody else?
Try what was that?
Try an expanded DORA this season.
I agree.
Because it could potentially include, the other people that, like the Mockingbirds, the 311 folks, Zambonis. How far down do we go? Do we expand it all the way down 2 blocks to down near River Street to where River Street and those guys are?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about this, Trustee Sauter made a good point that there are other towns that don't have necessarily physical barriers that you have to walk past, but just signs posted that this is where the DORA limits end. I know Arlington Heights closes down their streets in the area, but essentially there's no fence that gates them in that area where you could just kind of walk on out. I would, go ahead.
Does that not, produce the fear then that people are just, bringing a bottle of vodka in their car and, filling it
They're
up
doing that
on the
now
side?
anyway.
These are the challenges of an outdoor event.
Well,
I mean,
that's
well,
the
right
only thing
now-
I'm worried about is.
Well, right now, we
calls.
check at the gate.
Right.
But, if there's no gate,
Well, that's how it is for Motor Monday.
what is,
People are walking all over the place. And that's how it is probably for St. Patrick's Day. I'm guessing. I don't know. I never saw alcohol out there walking around.
So these are the challenges that would bring when expanding that is police resources and that type of opportunity.
I guess, what are we, what is the gain, what are we gaining by doing this at all? Just out of curiosity, what's the selling point?
Just a variety for people. Just variety of drinks instead of just getting the regular refreshments you would get at a booth, or opening up a tab.
I think not having as many booths
I've gotten
set
a lot
up.
of feedback from people that go there that really love the fact that they can go in a place and get a
Yeah.
drink.
And I'll be honest, I've seen it online, and people are like, oh, that's great, and it's just I guess I don't
There's
take
some
it.
difference.
Because it's
Bars.
like,
Yeah,
pub
yeah.
crawl is a
I'm-
thing that people love doing, of just
Oh.
we're not going to one restaurant or bar, we're gonna go to these 3, and that's part of the fun, and so I think we're
Oh, I
kind of
haven't
known
seen
as
it.
being a pub crawl town.
Mhm.
There we are, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's really up to not so much, as much up to the committee as it is the board, so.
I think we're gonna look
maybe
for
we-
recommendations from you guys.
Yeah,
also, so.
yeah.
But this
So
is a
if we wanna
motion.
test it, I mean, we still have time
Just
to have another board
expand.
meeting to say, okay, let's try and test it on this later event. And this is who has expressed interest that they would be involved. I mean, we can have Catherine reach out to, you know, Mockingbird and the people around, and also, all the way down to River Street and Banditos to see. I know, River Street's, declined to kind of participate in all of the events besides Oktoberfest this year. So it could give them an opportunity to participate if somebody wants to walk 3 blocks down, you know, get something.
Well, it could
Special.
change next year with the
Yeah.
stage and stuff, because it'll be farther down next year.
Yeah, and I wanna deal with what we've got, what we know for sure, because we haven't approved money for it, we don't have an approved design yet for it, there's a lot, you know, there's ways to go before we get there. So, you know, focusing on this year would be really,
So we're looking now, we're looking at a new name for the door, if somebody can come up with that. Ideas from businesses, how we can maybe expand. But right now, the motion is just to approve continuing throughout the year, because last time we only approved 4 events.
So which
We got the motion,
events are we adding? It doesn't say that.
yeah, it's on it's Thursday, May 12, wait, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay, I see.
Oh,
it
I
would be
see.
the remaining.
yeah, the remaining
Up-
Thursdays.
Up until Oktoberfest.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah, I think just having the events committee continue to respond to feedback and try different things, since we're in a beta period, like
Mhm.
test out different things, see if we can optimize like how much staff time is used by tweaking things, but I kind of trust the events committee to make the main decision, because you hear from everyone the complaints
Mhm.
if they don't like it, so.
If we go to cups or anything like that, then maybe we can look into having them printed with the rules on it or something like
Yeah.
that too.
It's actually a really good idea.
Collector cups each
Okay,
year.
let's take a vote.
Trustee Kunzi?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to D, discussion and direction regarding the redevelopment of the village-owned property at 2 and 4 North Van Buren Street. That's right on the corner of Van Buren and 72, the northeast corner, that property next to the,
Used to be 2 houses,
yes.
the village purchased and then demolished.
Correct.
Correct. So this is coming before you as we're starting to prep for our 2027 budget. One of the items that came across staff's desk was the current electric message board on River Street and 72 is starting to not be supported by our IT, and it's on life support, and it could go out at any day. If this is kind of a 2-pronged approach. If the board still desires to bring forward a message board as part of its identity and its communication method, one location that was pointed out as a potential area to replace it from that existing place where it was called out to have a line of sight issue
Mhm.
by our recent study, is the corner of, on our screen here, of North Van Buren and 72. We did have concepts rendered a while back from, I believe it was RVI that did something, and it was included in the packet. Although this was kind of like a parklet, we could incorporate the same type of design by placing an electric message board on that corner of the village-owned property, and like we did with the side of Village Hall, turn it into a buffer zone between the downtown and then entering in off of 72. That's one option. If the board decides to go this route, we could put together some proposals and fine tune how much this endeavor would cost and put it together in the 2027 budget. So just seeking direction if this is what you'd like to envision in the downtown. And one of those options, it was mentioned, at some point we have to figure out what we need to do with the village-owned caboose. And one option was to somehow include it in this area as part of a focal point, just being creative here. But we do know that at some point in Meyer Street, the caboose has to get relocated.
I think that the sign, the electric sign, I'd love to see it go away, I think. Like it's just like a ticker of some information as people are driving in a very pedestrian, busy area. To be watching and looking for the next sign is not really a good idea. And they're ugly, and at night they're very bright, and we just get complaints about the LED sign on the hill very often, even when it was functioning. It's kind of blinding at night, so if we get a brand new LED screen that's cutting edge, it's going to be super bright and annoying. So
What you're saying is get rid of the current one and replace it with nothing.
yes,
Yes.
save
I'm on that side.
$250,000. So it's $270,000 to possibly do this. So
Yeah, it'd be 70,000 for the message board, and then I talked to Kyle Lauderdale, and he's shooting from the hip, 20 to 30,000 to run electric, new service through ComEd there.
plus the 200 to buy a new one.
Well, 70,000 to buy a new one, and
Oh,
then
okay.
about 30 grand for the electric, and then 100 grand or so for the parklet park.
Right. But yeah, I'd say
I do like
no. But yeah, the caboose seems interesting.
Yeah,
It's
and I do
maybe-
like the idea of having this be something of a parklet. That I like. I just don't, yeah, I agree, it doesn't necessarily need an electronic sign.
And I'd like to further add to this as our job is to find efficiencies and not to overlap services provided to our residents. I did reach out to the Park District because I know we just waived fees for them to replace their electronic message board on the corner of 68 and Dundee. They do allow for residents or local businesses to promote stuff on there too. So if we do get future inquiries, we could say, hey, the Park District has a new message board, you could advertise there.
Where is that? Where's that message board?
The golf club, right on 68 and 25.
Yeah, I'd be interested in understanding, are the messages, what percentage of messages on the board right now are driven by village trying to promote internal events, occasions, that kind of thing, compared to businesses actually saying, I want to put an ad on that? Because that used to be the major way that a lot of our local businesses in downtown, because I think it was like $50 for a month or something like that. It's very reasonable to do the number of lines that they wanted. I think just communication and advertising has changed so much.
It's not where we get our news
It's not
anymore.
it's not where we get our news anymore. And honestly, does it really represent the kind of for lack of a vibe that we want to send for the village and the village events and that kind of thing? Not that it's negative, but I also don't think it is congruent to the kind of character that we want to portray.
Yeah, and that 6872 sign is, that's a large golf course, there's two gas stations across the street. This is like, there's houses across the street, so it's like, it's a different, like the brightness that you mentioned is,
Yeah.
I think, a little different. Also, that one's like 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And this would not be, this would be,
Yeah, I agree though, that the one we have right now, it's too busy of an intersection to be paying attention to that with Dairy Queen right there, kids running around and people. I never read it anyway, and I've been here a lot of years and I don't ever read it.
We'd still budget to have that removed in its entirety
Yeah.
then in 27.
What does
Yeah.
that look like?
We don't have those figures yet.
Yeah, okay.
And I do see when a Wind Down Wednesday is coming up, there's a bright branded sign that I do notice, so I think we've got it covered as to
With
when
the
we
s-
do want to market events and things happening. There's other vehicles, there's on the posts, we have signage,
got the
we
sandwich
have
boards,
sandwich
we've got-
boards. Yeah.
I think you guys are correct. I think this came out before social media.
Oh, I can tell you, I was on the board when,
So I think you're right.
I think
The
it was
Lions-
2007, 2008, right around that time that it went up.
So I think you're right.
Yeah.
The lion's share is the village's prompted
Mhm.
messaging on this, with the occasional non-for-profit that wants to have something put on there for a depot rental. But
Yeah.
you probably are getting more eyes across it on social media, and quite frankly, it's probably safer that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only last comment I have is, I don't really see the caboose going up there. I find it incongruent with, we should, in my opinion, it should stay in the village, it should stay close to downtown, and it should stay close to where the bike path, old train tracks were. Not on Meyer, but somewhere along there.
What if it was like stabbed into the ground, like it got
Like-
lifted in a tornado and landed? Like people would come to see
And
that.
then have some other,
It's true.
Have the Arts Council
train
make
cars
it
stacked
fine
on
art
top of it
instead
on a
of
spike.
used.
I would be okay if we found a way of pushing it down into the river. But it's only 10 years old. It's not like it's historical with our town. Now, I'm not that attached to it, but I do know I spoke with Trustee Saviano the other day, and she said maybe we push it down, get it closer to by the stage, and we can use that as a changing room
I
or
love that
green
idea.
room
Sounds
for a
cool.
stage.
I love that
And
idea.
obviously it would have to be painted that's gonna match that area, so that's not a bad idea.
Is it gonna keep costing us money every year though, to maintain?
Well, we would have to get electric to it, which we're gonna have electric to the stage anyway. I couldn't imagine it would be that big of a deal, but right now it's got plumbing and all that. We don't need all that stuff. I would say just electric heat and be done with it.
I think, we can ask for Public Works and, last time we discussed this, I think we spent like $27,000 over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, a few years.
In maintaining that, so it's not like it's a huge outlay of money.
I
on
thought
that.
it was more than that.
It's not, yeah.
Okay.
But we can get an updated accounting for sure. I think
Trustee
we
Ackland?
should.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, like, the existing sign really has to go. It's extremely dangerous right
Mhm.
there. Like, and that right turn on red, I use it probably a lot, you know, because I live that way and I go back and forth. I have like to be very specific with my kids to make eye contact with all the cars or don't cross the road. Because, and it has a lot to do with that board, so that's a good thing, that we're all in concurrence with that. I originally thought it would be cool to put the caboose in this park area, but after seeing the picture of making it a walkable park, it would just be an empty caboose, which doesn't make any sense. So I would agree that it probably doesn't fit there and it would have no purpose other than being a thing there that I don't know if we would want. I see on the corner, it would have a replacement sign, and we're saying that it would just be kind of like that raw iron look that we picked earlier, the board picked earlier, right? So that would be cool. And I do want to keep the caboose somewhere that fits, with the stage, with it being a changing room. I don't know how well it would work because it's kind of like a train car, but maybe. But I would.
Fake train car, isn't it?
What's up?
It's a fake train car, I believe.
It's a caboose.
It's just the caboose, but like a changing room might need to be more than that, you know,
Well,
like to
Well,
work
right now there'd be
feasibly.
nothing, that's why.
There's a lot of equipment in there that would need to be torn out, that they're
So-
using as food prep and storage and all that kind of stuff.
I still like the idea of a coffee shop using it somehow, because I feel like it's like a super easy business to run out of there very quickly, like, because it's a window business like we got there now. I like the idea of a business using it still, if there was a way to make it work. I don't know if we want the same deal that we have now. So I do think it looks cool. And
A late night fresh hot cookies booth.
There
would
you
be
go.
pretty cool.
yeah,
An
something
insomnia
window.
outpost, insomnia, not insomnia outpost.
I do think it's worth us looking into doing that as an actual park in that area, because any business that goes there, like the traffic pattern's so messed up, I think it would be unsafe. It's probably why you guys tore the houses down in the first place, so, the park's a good idea.
Trustee, Guma?
I love the park. I'm indifferent about the sign. I think everyone seems to not want the sign anymore, so.
I'm not sure about a sign with that property, but, park kind of worries me just because it's right on 72 and all these kids.
It's probably more of just a
Like a,
decorative
like
sign.
a green
If you were to-
area.
If you were to
Okay.
picture on like Huntley Road where, it turns into Washington in Carpentersville, where that corner has been put with, like green,
Yeah.
arborvitae and then just a welcoming corner, it would be a buffer park.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Like this park out here,
Like this.
a native plants and
Correct.
kind of loungy
Correct.
spot.
As long as there's not too many plants, it's gonna block that view also.
Right.
Yeah,
I do,
setback.
I do wonder, it's still a pretty big incline on that property.
There
We
is.
have to like,
So what staff would do then is we'd budget for the removal of the sign in 27, exploring how much it would cost to remove or relocate in 27 the caboose, and then getting construction, engineering and designs for 2027 with the construction in 2028. So we could talk about it later on
Yeah.
and figure it out, tiptoe into this, but we'll
Yeah.
budget for the construction and the plan so we could all take a look at it and come
yeah.
back.
I also wonder, on this graphic, it's calling out for decorative crosswalks on 72. How does that work with IDOT?
Yeah, so I don't think the consultants really thought about the IDOT and how long it'll take for that, but it would take a long time for that to go through.
Love that idea. Yeah, it just sounds like a nightmare.
It's all in the execution that probably won't happen, I'm anticipating.
Do you have enough to go on then?
Oh, plenty, yes,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Let's move on to E. I'll entertain a motion.
I will move to approve a resolution approving termination of existing master services and purchasing agreement and authorizing execution of a new master services and purchasing agreement with Axon Enterprises, Inc. for body worn cameras and related software.
Second,
A second.
I did.
Chief, did you want to talk about this or no?
Anybody has questions? Happy to answer.
The overview is that we have a contract now.
Mhm.
We want to cancel it and get a 10-year one because that's going to save us money in the long run.
That's a perfect summary.
But we're not changing anything.
We're not changing anything, no. And in fact, not only are we not changing anything, every 2.5 years, we get new equipment as part of this contract, so.
And are we budgeted for it right now? Can we afford it?
We have it in our 5-year budget. This gives us budgeting
Time.
exactly we're
Okay.
good through 2030, and this expands us out to 2036.
We have to do this regardless.
Right.
Did I see?
Oh. Oh, really?
It's the body worn cameras, so.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't know if
By
Axon
law.
was
Oh,
forcing
no,
us,
right,
that we
no,
have to change
no.
it, but this is more of an opportunistic, an opportunity that was afforded to us, yeah.
Yeah, to pay in advance.
I'm looking for the long-term budget knowledge as well, right? Like, I know
Not
this
plan.
year, this is what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
Did they store the videos too for us, right?
They do. through
So if
evidence
we
dot
were
com.
to change contractors, it would probably be quite
The
the nightmare.
migration to a
Yeah.
different vendor would be very
Painful.
difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a question about why they're pitching us on this savings and trying to lock us in. It seems like this is a space that might be changing and getting more competitive. Like there's data centers going up everywhere. Maybe storage costs are going to come down because they build too many. Maybe there's a lot of competing AI industries who are threatening their space, and so they don't want to cut prices, so they're trying to lock us in at a higher price so that we don't shop around in 5 years when it changes dramatically. That'd be the main concern.
I can tell you, I came from a different agency that went with a competitor, and the product was very poor compared to Axon. Axon was a significant upgrade, and in this business, in the body cam, fleet camera, Taser, evidence.com, your digital evidence platform, Axon is by far the best.
So it'd take a long time for a competitor to outpace their dominance in that industry.
Axon
for-
usually buys them out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that might be fair. I don't know that space super well, but it does seem like they're pitching us how much we're gonna save and really trying for it, so it makes me suspect that they see this as a savings for them, not a loss.
I think, I don't want to speculate on their business model, but I think them locking in a 10-year plan also gives them some budget certainty, right? They know what's
Mhm.
coming in and what's
Yeah.
going.
All right, anything else? Let's vote.
Trustee Kunzi?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
And Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Moving on to F, I'll entertain a motion for F.
Okay, I'll move to approve a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Christopher B. Burke Engineering Ltd. Associated for the Illinois Route 68 Crosswalk Improvement Project.
Second.
Any discussion? All right.
Unless you
Um,
got a,
I had a thought is, we were talking before about this being a spot where also golf carts would cross, but that's not really
Mhm.
part of this plan. Is that, since we're just talking engineering and looking at a plan, it would make sense to look at just not the same crosswalk, but just a little cut through to get over so people aren't going all the way
I was
around
under
town.
saying it was all the same, Phil.
Or can crosswalks use a pedestrian crosswalk? I thought that was
Yeah.
not allowed in our rules.
So the width of the crosswalk, good question, will be essentially 8 foot wide, and it will align with the multi-use path on the south side of 68. So it will be 8 foot crossing, and the sidewalk system also on the north side will also be 8 foot wide. So it'll be a wider than your traditional 5 foot wide public
Could
sidewalk.
that be used for golf carts?
It could be. One thing that Christopher Burke has offered to explore is, would that be a component of the project that would ultimately require a permit through? So at this point, we're at a point where we need to formally design the project.
Right.
Conceptually, it's been approved by IDOT. So then, as part of the permit application process, we would look into the possibility of golf carts
Okay.
for use.
So we can adjust our rules to say you can't drive a golf cart on a path, but that one you can, and just make an exception for only that one, and then we just make it clear with signage.
Certainly look into that and see what,
Because the other option that I was wondering is like if you're on Aldous, just like putting a little connector to Barrington Avenue so that they could go straight across Aldous without having to get onto 68 if they're not allowed on the crosswalk with other pedestrians, which could be a security hazard. But we could just connect straight across the street to
Yeah.
get onto Barrington Avenue. So you
yeah.
do have a straight shot across 68, jump over the grass and onto that road if we build a road there. But worth looking into while engineering is looking at it, because they know whether or not that's feasible. But just throwing that in
It's
is
an interesting idea.
something to look at, making sure they can,
Maybe I'll
Get
just start
across
jumping the grass.
but yeah, put a ramp at the curb and catch some air. But yeah, that was the only thought, is making sure that factor is factored in.
it was not part of the initial concept that was approved by that, so that's something we have to bring into.
Left to right, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Introduce
see
them.
if they can come up with a better plan also.
Sure.
Because, I mean, we put bike paths on roads all the time, so can it be kind of the same thing where you have a road and the bike crosswalk? I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but.
They're probably not like, you know, some people are going one way and a golf cart's coming at you. Like, that's probably why it's not a good shared zone, but if it's like 2 lanes and one's clearly that, but that might dramatically change this. Seems like an easier option to just go across all this, jump that curb over that little grass, and then you're on it.
Right. I think
But-
we'd have to still get IDOT's permission for that.
Cause is that
Joe?
little spit of grass, all just frontage road? Is it property that's owned by, it's right away? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, look,
I don't think you need special permission, because you can cross at 72
Right.
with a golf cart without any special sign.
As long as it's straight run, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's
Just need
straight.
to press the curb and have some kind of hard surface to maybe sign it, say, have golf carts on it or something.
Golf
so
carts
they don't
only.
go straight.
It's a really good idea.
It's permitted by code, so.
I love the peekaboos and cat's pajamas. Just want to say that.
what?
Oh, the flowers, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And then one minor thing to add to it is, like cars, when they see the flashing lights in the crosswalk zone, typically don't stop for cyclists because it doesn't say state law, stop. So if we just put that little sign in the middle somewhere, some $50 sign, that, in my experience, is the only way that the driver signals like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to stop instead of them stopping.
Yeah,
So a small, cheap addition that I think will make it more effective.
agree.
Are those signs $50?
That's a guess.
A little bit higher.
A little bit higher, okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and vote it.
Trustee Coonsey?
Yes.
Are we voting with the alternate?
Yeah, this is just for doing the planning.
The higher the
Doing the
company.
Higher the
engineering.
plan.
Except that they'll figure this out for us.
Right. I'm a yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes,
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
And Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
And moving on to G.
I'll move to approve a resolution accepting a bid and approving a contract with Schrader Asphalt Services for the 2026 Street Improvement Program.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Bill, do you have an overview or anything that you wanted to share?
Just a quick mention, this was the project that was scheduled, programmed for last year, 2025. But due to essentially IDOT's administrative review and approval process, it was deferred to this year. We had sought to replace all lead service lines ahead of this project, which we have successfully done. And so IDOT gave us the formal approval this year, and we should be good to go.
Wait, I thought this was for like Second Street. Is it not?
So it's Second, Adams, Railroad, and Fourth.
We need to ask IDOT's permission to fix Second Street?
So because we're using motor fuel tax funds for this project, converting Fourth Street from a two-way to a one-way required special approval, including a public information meeting that we held back in, was it January, February? Early this year. It's like, what's it called? Was it in the fall?
Time
Sometime,
flies.
yeah. So we
Alright.
had we were required to have that public information meeting.
Are we, I mean, Second is bad. First isn't any better. Is that next year or?
We are currently in budget discussion conversation to expand our lead service line replacement program, which would focus on 3 streets in the flats, First being one of them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Good.
roll call?
Trustee Coonsey?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes,
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
And Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
And then finally, we're at H.
I'll make a motion to approve a resolution approving a contract for engineering services from Gerald L. Hines and Associates, Inc., associated with the 2026 Street Improvement Program.
second.
Any discussion? All right, let's do roll call.
Trustee Coonsey?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes,
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
And Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
And that will take us to reports. Trustee Coonsey, anything?
No report.
Trustee Mahoney?
as I mentioned previously, we will have a community events meeting here, at the depot.
At the depot.
At 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And then also we have a Thirsty Thursday scheduled for this week. And we're at this point in time, we're looking at 77 and partly cloudy, so hopefully things will go on if we don't have any more issues with the smoke. And you guys are all aware that pretty much everything was canceled, since the smoke came in because of the heat and the smoke and safety concerns. And that's all I have.
Trustee Akron?
No report.
Trustee Guma?
No report.
And Trustee Sauter?
No report.
Phil? No report. Brandis? Joe?
No report.
Chief? Kelly?
If you guys do social media, please follow our P70 Facebook page. Officer Liliana Wills is doing a really bang up job.
Fantastic job.
Jackie's humor and the posts,
No report for me.
Do you have a report?
I just wanted to clarify, I looked it up, the Dora is south of Barrington, so Black and Gray, DC Cops were not part of it.
I couldn't find where I saw it, but I did see it, but I don't know.
Okay, for me, I wanted to say that, it was nice this morning, I saw The Mockingbird on CBS this morning.
Cool.
The Mockingbird, Chicago Today, they did a big thing on The Mockingbird, and Catherine, the owner, did a fantastic job of selling East Dundee, so I thought she did a great job. That was great to see.
CBS?
Correct. CBS Chicago Today is what it was called. And then Motor Mondays. I've gotten a few concerns from businesses and about how we have a lot of parking, you know, a lot of cars there, but they don't patronage the businesses very much. They don't. Nobody drinks except the people that go there. The drivers obviously don't, and then they bring their own food and stuff. So I'm just bringing that up to maybe, is that something we might want to limit? I know with the VFW, I stopped doing them because they just take up all of our parking and nobody comes in and buys anything.
Who's open on Mondays now, though?
Yeah, well, that's true. So I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, I just had that brought up to me. What was the other thing I wanted to bring up? Oh, I also had a discussion with an investor, and I will say his name, Tom Roser. He was inquiring about the lumberyard property. We're not sure what's happening with the art center or anything, the Rouse Center, but one of the things he was interested in wanting to do is put up a 32-unit apartment building, 1.5 stories on, what is it, Meyer here, and then 2.5 stories on 4th Street? Third Street. You know, middle to upper class apartments, parking would be on site in a horseshoe type diagram. Just to bring get more people here in town, more living spaces for people here in town. If we wanted to do commercial, we could do commercial also at the very bottom floor, but we would be responsible, he said, to fill up the building with commercial. So it's an option out there. We're still dealing with the Rouse Center Road to see if they have funding.
What was that? We would be responsible for what?
Filling the vacancy of
So
the.
he's saying he's going to give us the building then? Is
No,
that-
he's not gonna give us the building. He said
So
that.
he's gonna keep the building and we get to run it though.
No, so he said he would pay for the building, but we would have to cover any of the money that, if it was a $10 million building and only worth, let's say, $8 million, well, we would have to cover the two. I'm just putting it out there,
Yeah.
just, obviously, this was just a 15-minute discussion.
Yeah.
That he's interested in potentially building apartments here, or, you know, condos, whatever.
Right.
So, it's a thought. We keep having more and more commercial. We have open brick and mortars right now that aren't being utilized. So would more people, more residents actually help us with filling more businesses down here? Because we could keep putting more businesses, but there's no parking, so it's just an option. I'm just
Mhm.
kind of bringing it up so everybody's aware of it, that's all.
Mhm.
All right?
Thanks.
And then I will accept a motion to adjourn to executive session with, following C11 pending litigation, C1 personnel and legal counsel.
And then to adjourn from executive session.
Yes.
I'll move to open executive session, close to the public and media under the provisions of Illinois Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120-2, C11 pending litigation, C1 personnel and legal counsel. That's the only two?
Yes.
And we will adjourn directly out of that and not return to open session.
Thank you.
Second.
Trustee Kunzi?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
And Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a,
We got a shift.
am I signing?
5-minute recess?
Yes.
I'm good.
Joe Heights.